This morning, we're getting an exclusive first look at the future of high-speed rail travel, in particular Amtrak's new, faster Acela. Last summer, we showed you the facility in New York State where the trains will be built. Pretty cool. Now we're finding out what the trains can do on the tracks and how the pandemic is affecting the testing. The rollout continues despite word from Amtrak that 2,400 more employees face possible layoffs, and that's in addition to furloughs affecting 2,000 employees that started last week. Kris Van Cleave visited the Colorado facility where the testing is taking place.
That is the sound of speed. Next year, America's fastest train will start rolling down the tracks between Boston, New York, and Washington at up to 160 miles an hour. We're getting a first look at the new Acela as it undergoes speed testing at this sprawling 30,000-acre facility outside Pueblo, Colorado.
It's going to be a game changer.
Amtrak Vice President Caroline Decker.
Why can't the U.S. have as fast of trains as other countries?
In Europe and in Asia, you have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of right-of-ways that were built specifically for these designated high-speed corridors. The Northeast Corridor, which in many areas is more than 100 years old, was never designed for high-speed trains.
The new trains will be 10 miles an hour faster than the current 20-year-old high-speed fleet. Amtrak hopes to shave about 15 minutes off a trip between D.C. and Boston while carrying 25% more passengers and using 20% less energy. During its year of certification testing here at the Transportation Technology Center, this train is basically a rolling test lab.
We look at speed upgrades, we look at tilt testing, we look at all of the safety appliances that are on the train set, and we just make sure everything is operating like it's supposed to be.
Built by Alstom in Hornell, New York, the new Acela is part of a $2.4 billion modernization effort that is continuing despite the pandemic and Amtrak's decision to furlough or lay off more than 2,000 employees.
Given the pandemic, given the plummeting demand, why move forward with this project now?
We have to look to the future. We owe it to the generations of Americans that are here 10 years, 20 years from now, when no doubt train travel will play a huge role in terms of mobility for our country.
Even as the new Acela is racing down this test track at speeds up to 165 miles an hour, the coronavirus is forcing some redesigns on the inside of the train.
We are improving some of the design, looking at air conditioning, airflow.
So you're going to go in and change perhaps the air filter and the airflow in the train.
There is some design activity ongoing to do that. It's airflows, it's touchless, it's installing sanitizing stations, it's all those things.
The train meets stronger crashworthiness standards while promising a smoother ride. On the inside, it boasts improved Wi-Fi and a host of contactless features, including a self-service cafe car and a touchless restroom. For CBS This Morning, Kris Van Cleave, Pueblo, Colorado.
Touchless. It's a touchless restroom.
How does that work?
I think you touch yourself, but you don't touch anything else.
I was going to say, how does that work?
We'll
you got to touch something.
We'll find out.
I'm not going to get graphic. You all know what I'm talking about.
It does raise some questions.
Yeah.
I did like what Caroline Decker said, where she said, you know, we have to look to the future.
Yes.
It was a great question from Kris, and I loved her response. We have to look to the future because there is a future here.
Yeah, right.
I still so believe. I can't wait to get on it in the year 2022.
And saving those 15 minutes on the way to Boston, that adds up.
I just hope they improve the tracks along with improving the trains, because the problem was always the trains were good, but the tracks were terrible. Yeah.